You wake up, and it feels like you have seen this day before. The same ceiling, the same route, the same thoughts running in circles, like a scratched record. You tell yourself, I am just waiting for the right moment. Or, things will change soon. But weeks pass, then months, and the only thing that changes is the date on the calendar. You feel like a ship docked in a harbor with its sails raised, but there is no wind. You look at others moving forward, navigating the open seas of their lives, and you wonder why your anchor is so heavy. You call this stagnation. You say, I am stuck. But that is a lie. 2,000 years ago, a crippled slave named Epictetus discovered a harsh truth about the human psyche that we are afraid to admit today. And the truth is this: you are not stuck. No one is holding you. The door to your cell is not locked. You are standing in place not because you cannot leave, but because you are holding onto the walls of your prison with all your might. We are used to thinking of being stuck as an external problem. We treat our lives like a car bogged down in mud. We blame the mud. We blame the wheels. We blame the weather. We look at the economy, our upbringing, our boss, or our bank account, and we identify these as the bars of our cage. But from the perspective of Stoicism, you are not the car in the mud. You are the driver slamming on the gas while forgetting to release the handbrake. Epictetus taught us a fundamental truth that might be painful, but is necessary, like a surgical incision. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Think about that deeply. A situation in itself is neutral. Losing a job is just an event in time. A breakup is just a change in status. Living in a small town is just geography. What makes you feel trapped is your story about the event. You tell yourself, this is unfair. I can't handle this. Or, I have no choice. It is this internal monologue that creates the walls of your dungeon. You are not stuck in reality. You are stuck in your reaction to reality. You are chained to your opinion of how your life should look. And because reality doesn't match that picture, you refuse to move. You have gone on strike against your own fate. Let's dismantle the chains you have placed upon yourself, one by one. The first and heaviest chain is the obsession with results. We live in a world that worships the outcome. We are taught that the value of an action lies only in its success. And so, you become paralyzed. Epictetus often used the metaphor of the archer. The archer does everything in his power. He chooses the best bow, he checks the string, he accounts for the wind, and he aims with maximum precision. But the moment the arrow leaves his hand, the result no longer belongs to him. A sudden gust of wind might blow the arrow off course. The target might move. The animal might flee. You feel stuck because you have tied your happiness and your self-worth to hitting the bullseye every single time. You say, I will move forward only when I have a guarantee of success. You don't start writing the book because you are afraid no one will read it. You don't ask for the promotion because you are afraid of the word no. You don't leave the partner who drains you because you are afraid you won't find anyone else. You want to control the flight of the arrow after it has been loosed. And since that is mathematically and physically impossible, you become paralyzed. You stand with the bowstring drawn for years, afraid to release your fingers because you fear missing the mark. Your hands shake. Your muscles burn. Life passes you by, and you are still aiming. Stoicism says, shoot. The flight of the arrow is fate. The shot is your will. Your freedom lies in the action, not in the fruit of the action. When you detach from the outcome, the fear of moving evaporates. The second chain keeping you in place is forged from the eyes of other people. We live in a theater where we are the actors and everyone else is a critic. We have built a mental panopticon where we believe we are constantly being watched, judged, and graded. You are afraid to step out of line because you fear the booing from the audience. Epictetus, being a lame ex-slave who had nothing to lose, laughed at those who sought the approval of the crowd. He asked, "Who do you wish to be admired by? By those you are in the habit of saying are mad? Consider the absurdity of your situation. You are stuck in a life you dislike because you are trying to impress people you don't even respect. You have handed the remote control of your self-worth to the external world. You don't change careers because, what will people say? You buy things you don't need to match a status you hate. You are living not your own life, but the life of a character you think people want to see. It is exhausting. It drains you dry. It is impossible to walk your own path if you are constantly looking back to check if you are being watched. You cannot move forward if your legs are tied by the strings of other people's expectations." Epictetus reminds us, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This is the price of entry for a life of your own. Freedom begins where the fear of looking ridiculous ends. You must be willing to be a beginner, to be clumsy, to be misunderstood. The moment you stop caring about the applause, the stage disappears, and you find yourself on solid ground, ready to walk. And then there is the third, most insidious chain. It is your love for your own cage. Epictetus knew the psychology of slavery better than anyone. He saw that many slaves, upon receiving freedom, did not know what to do with it. They were terrified by the vastness of choice. They sought a new master immediately. Why? Because freedom is responsibility, but a cage is stability. You feel stuck because, subconsciously, you have chosen this state. You feel bad, but it is a familiar bad. You know every corner of your depression. You know every script of your failures. Stepping out into the unknown is terrifying. It is terrifying to take responsibility for the fact that your life is the result of your decisions, not an evil fate. You hold on to your fears like a child holds on to an old, tattered blanket. You say you want change, but when change knocks at the door, you barricade yourself in. You aren't stuck because the door is locked. You are stuck because you are afraid of what lies beyond the threshold. You are addicted to the certainty of your misery. The unknown holds the potential for pain, yes, but it also holds the potential for joy, for growth, for life. Your current stagnation guarantees neither pain nor joy, only a slow, gray decay of the soul. So how do we break these chains? How do we finally start moving? Epictetus offers a radical method. He doesn't say, think positive. He doesn't say, manifest your dreams. He says, align your desires with reality. This sounds like defeat to the modern ego, which wants to conquer the world, but it is the highest form of power. Do not demand that things should happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. This is the concept of amor fati, love of fate. Stop fighting the current of the river. Stop screaming at the rain. Stop demanding justice from the world according to your script. Look at what you have right now, in this imperfect, messy moment, and ask, what can I do with this? Humility in Stoicism is not weakness. It is acknowledging the facts. It is looking at the map and admitting where you are standing. You cannot navigate to a new destination if you lie to yourself about your starting point. Yes, you wasted time. Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, you are not where you wanted to be at this age. Accept it, totally, without judgment. As soon as you stop denying your current position, you gain a foothold. You stop slipping. You realize that stuck is just a word for pausing before a new direction. The energy you spent regretting the past or fearing the future is now available for the present. You must understand that the obstacle is not the end of the road. The obstacle is the road. The very things that you think are blocking you, the lack of resources, the difficult people, The failures are actually the raw material for your character. Epictetus said, "Circumstances do not make the man. They only reveal him to himself." You are currently revealing yourself to be someone who waits. But you can choose in this very second to be someone who acts. Not a grand action, not a revolutionary leap, but a small, deliberate movement. The antidote to being stuck is not a massive overhaul of your life. It is micro-movement. It is doing one thing today that you didn't do yesterday. It is writing one paragraph. It is making one phone call. It is walking 1 mile. When you focus on the process rather than the result, the pressure lifts. You are no longer trying to move a mountain. You are simply moving a stone, and then another, and then another. Motion creates emotion. Action generates momentum. You don't think your way out of being stuck. You act your way out. Look at your life right now. Do you feel the weight? That is the weight of the keys you are clenching in your fist, forgetting what they are for. You have convinced yourself that you are waiting for permission, for a sign, for a savior, but no one is coming to save you. And that is the best news you could possibly hear. It means the power is already in your hands. Epictetus, the old teacher with a crippled leg but a soul freer than Caesar's, looks at you across the centuries and whispers the truth you are afraid to hear. The door was never locked. You can walk away at any second, but you are holding on. That holding on, that is your prison. Open your hand. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the need to be admired. Let go of the past that no longer exists. Take a step into the fog. It is only there, in the unknown, that you will find yourself again. You are not stuck. You just stopped walking. So, start.